Mystery School Teachings of the Sun State, and the Great Solar Mystery. My friends, this topic is deep, profound, and hidden. I hope I can do it just a little bit of justice, at least in this video. So much could be said here, but essentially what we're going to be doing is, first off, starting with and analyzing some of the text of Thoth in the Emerald Tablets. And then we're going to move on to the Emerald Tablet of Hermes and some of the teachings of Hermes, Manly Hall, yoga, and kind of analyze the spread of the religion of the sun and what all this solar symbolism means, in a sense, to a degree. So, yeah, we're about to dive into Thoth, but let's start here really briefly, because I'm going to elaborate this on this after we read Thoth. And by the way, this is the esoteric wisdom for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. I might be stepping on people's toes, but I got to spit the truth here. So let's dive in. What is the goal? What is enlightenment? In the New Age, we have so many teachers preaching false light. So many teachers of false light. It's insanity. Essentially, these pearls, this ancient truth known to the Hermetics, the Vedas, the rishis of old, the masters of wisdom. This ancient truth of the solar state was deeply hidden. Okay. The solar state is the ideal or perfected state of man. It's the perfected initiate. Okay. And this is the ultimate aim. This is the ultimate aim of man. It's the ultimate purpose of man, is to actually become more than man. And this truth, the sun state, I'm going to briefly describe it here in a second. But essentially, to get there requires, perhaps many lifetimes, the mastery of wisdom, right? The mastery of the laws of energy and coming into perfect alignment with the integrities of energy in your thoughts, feelings, actions, and attitudes. Furthermore, it's about elevating your internal energy levels to be able to be a house, a vehicle for superconsciousness, and to bring your will in alignment with God's will. This is deep work. It's not easy. It's not some kind of epiphany that New Age Enlightenment, preaches. We see a lot of teachers out there like Eckhart Tolle and different people, that kind of sum up enlightenment to be this, this epiphany of, I'm not the body, I'm not these possessions, I'm a spiritual being here on earth. And this kind of realization that brings like contentment or joy or peace. Yes, that's a step, but that is not the aim. And by preaching that and selling that as the aim, because when you sell that as the aim, the masses can buy it. It's easy. Selling true wisdom that requires suffering, strife, and hard work, that's much more difficult, But when you set your aim at that, you're no longer aiming beyond man. You're no longer aiming for the sun state. And the sun state is the true goal, the true destiny of man and the light that ever guides us. Enlightenment is not the aim, the sun state is. So, a lot could be said there. Let's dive into Thoth to start with, though. Light comes only to him who strives. This is the Emerald Tablet of Thoth, the key to magic. And this is a passage from it that talks about the sun and the brothers of brightness. Now, there's controversy over the authenticity of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, but if you read them and you really feel the wisdom in your soul, I don't care where it came from. There's no denying the depth of this text. So let's move in. Light comes only to him who strives. Hard is the pathway that leads to the wisdom. Hard is the pathway that leads to the light. Many shall ye find, the stones in your pathway. Many the mountains to climb towards the light. Shit ain't easy. Yet know ye, O man, to him that overcometh, free will he be of the pathway of light. For ye know, O man, in the end light must conquer, and darkness and night be banished from light. Listen, O man, and heed ye this wisdom. Even as darkness, so is the light. When darkness is banished and all veils are rended, Out there shall flash from the darkness the light. Even as exist among men the dark brothers, so there exist the brothers of light. So this is a clipping of like the second half of the Key to Magic, and it was talking about the dark brothers that kind of, basically brought down Atlantis and walk unseen through our dreams and unleash a lot of evils onto this world. And here it's saying that so there also exist the brothers of light, equal and opposite. We live in a realm of polarity. Okay. Antagonists are they of the brothers of darkness, seeking to free men from the night. Powers they have, mighty and potent, knowing the law the planets obey. Work they ever in harmony and order, freeing the man-soul from its bondage of night. Secret and hidden walk they also. Known not are they to the children of men. Ever have they fought the dark brothers, conquered and conquering time without end. The brothers of brightness, the brothers of light, my friends, there's a lot of different references to this, whether it's in, Gnosticism or occultism. And the brothers of brightness are essentially like, you call it ascended masters in a sense. It's people who have formed their immortal body and moved on to higher planes of operation, right? This is kind of the goal, is to join their ranks in a way, right? Yet always light shall in the end be master, driving away the darkness of night. Amen, know ye this knowing. Always beside thee walk the children of light. Masters they of the sun power, ever unseen yet guardians of men. Masters are they of the sun power. We're gonna find this common thread through a lot of things right here. Open to all is their pathway, open to he who will walk in the light. Free are they of the dark amenti, free of the halls where life reigns supreme. Sons are they and lords of the morning. Children of light to shine among men. They are children of light, so they are reborn, not of flesh, but of spirit and water. They were reborn as sons, sons of man and sons of God. Okay? So much of religious texts allude to the Son of Man or the Son of God or the Son, right? In fact, all religions are based on the religion of the Son and the light that dwells therein. We're going to get into that. Like man are they, and yet are unlike. Never divided were they in the past. One have they been in the oneness eternal, throughout all space since the beginning of time. Up did they come from the oneness with the all one. Okay. So this is talking about the brothers of brightness. He who traveled the path of the master, free must he be from the bondage of night. Conquer must he the formless and shapeless. Conquer he the phantom of fear. Knowing must he gain of all the secrets, travel the pathway that leads through the darkness, yet ever before him keep the light of his goal. They don't mention that stuff in New Age Enlightenment, huh? Obstacles great shall he meet in the pathway, yet press on to the light of the sun. Ever keep the light as your goal, the light of the sun. Hear ye, O man, and here's the most important part of the passage. Hear ye, O man, the sun is the symbol of the light that shines at the end of thy road. Now to thee I give the secrets. Now to meet the dark power, meet and conquer the fear of the night. Only by knowing can ye conquer. Only by knowing can ye have light. So essentially, this is talking about the knowledge of the true self. And the knowledge of the true self is the light of God, okay, in a way. And only by knowing can you conquer. Only by striving for this knowledge of your true self can you conquer all the power of fear, conquer all the bondage of night. Only by knowing, right? And keeping the sun as a symbol of light that shines at the end of thy road will you ever progress towards the goal, right? This is really important. Hear ye, O man, the sun is the symbol of the light that shines at the end of thine road. So what is the goal? Thoth is pointing to the sun state, right? The Colburn Bible points to the twice born or the solar state. You know, if you read the ancient yogic texts, it points to that breathless state where you're glowing with, you know, omnipresent like consciousness in a way. Right? What is the goal? Is simple enlightenment as the New Age preaches it? No. Let's talk about the sun state. Okay. We're going to dive into the Emerald Tablet of Hermes and a couple different things here. So, first off, the sun state. The words of Jesus. I think I paraphrase, but I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. The sun state is perfect harmony between the microcosm. Let's call this you, right? The microcosm, this little dot. And this circle just represents the universe. The sun state happens when we can energize the being to a degree where the universe can actually flow through us. Right now, we're like a 5-watt light bulb. And essentially, we must become like, you know, a 100,000-watt light bulb for the super consciousness to live inside of us, for the Father to live inside of you, right? Furthermore, this is you. And to harmonize with the macrocosm means to live in God, meaning that you extend your perception, you extend your breath, you extend beyond the separation, right? And essentially, you start to breathe in the unity. You start to blend thyself with the great essence, in the words of Thoth, right? And through this deep esoteric breathwork, I talk a lot about esoteric breathwork on my YouTube channel in the Vital Knowledge series. Through esoteric breathwork, we can start to harmonize with the universal energy around us, the great cosmic ocean of light, right? And learn to breathe that in and cycle it through us and then shine forth with its power. Okay. So through this kind of esoteric breathwork, but furthermore, in order to fully align and become one with the universe and let the universal will move through you, it's about bringing your thoughts, actions, attitudes, and feelings into alignment with the universal will, into alignment with the laws of energy and magnetism. You see, improper attitudes, thoughts or desires or feelings harm or disrupt your magnetic field. It creates different types of thought forms in your field, which essentially separate you from the purity of nature, right? So through deep, internal work and processes, we're coming into greater alignment of the microcosm, the man, with the grand man or the solar man, the universal man, right? This is really important for what we're about to get into in the operation of the sun and the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. By the way, please, if you're following along at this point, please hit that like button and drop any time codes where you found something impactful so other people have a little guide. And please share this, on a platform or to someone you think it will impact. So in the Zohar, the mystical Judaic text, there's a line I really love. And it is that, at the highest levels, God wants you to do what is best for you, to use your will. Your will is really important because it's what individuates you. You see, the sun is individuated, okay? Meaning that it's not just drifting off and, letting his ego fall into oblivion or dissolving the ego. No, it is integrating your ego to become a perfect vehicle of your soul, okay? The ego becomes a perfect vehicle of your soul. And when this happens, right, your true self, the authentic ray of God, can shine through you. God doesn't want creation to repeat itself. You have an individual will for a reason, and it is to see if you, through your lifetimes, can master this, can integrate your ego to become a vehicle for the soul and learn to pump with the universal energy. And when you do this, you will find that your will and God's will become one and the same because you are integrated into the grand plan. This is very important. A lot of the New Age teachers are talking false light in the sense of, we gotta dissolve the ego or get rid of the ego, or there's too much ego and all these different things. And I'm like, no, your will is there so that you individuate, so that you actualize your latent potential, so that you become a true, unique individual, so that God's ray can fully work through you, right? If you didn't have will, you would never grow the character required, the great character required to house a great soul, to do great work, right? So, integrate ego to be. Next, when you breathe with the universal essence all around you, blend thyself with the great essence. I spoke on that up here. Blending thyself with the great essence. This is esoteric energy work. And through this process, we elevate our energy levels. And essentially are reborn. Rebirth, as Jesus describes it, is rebirth not of the mother, not of the flesh, but of the water and of the spirit. Water is an occult symbol for chi, for the universal flowing waters of energy. Spirit is an occult symbol for fire, the I am, the true I am. So rebirth of water and of spirit, right? Symbolically a baptism. That kind of rebirth is rebirth into the original blueprint of the energetic model. It is a rebirth into the true I am, but a childlike dynamic energy circulation. You see, when you were born, you were breathing perfectly. Your body was perfect and supple. Your energy field was open and energy was circulating dynamically. As you grew up, the polarities became imbalanced. The energy pathways became impure in the body, right? The body became impure, the thoughts, everything, right? All the stress, the misuse of sexual energy, all the abuse you put yourself through, all of it is separating you from the great essence. To be reborn, you must be baptized in the womb. What is the womb? The womb is the ether of earth itself, right? Earth is the womb, as Hermes says, right? The moon is the mother, the sun is the father. And you are the seed being carried, right? When we can start to breathe as if we're in the womb again, we elevate our energy levels. We reestablish dynamic energy circulation of the child so that higher consciousness, higher energy can move through us, right? And we are also not just reborn as a child, but with the divine fire of I am, with awareness, with knowledge, with wisdom. So, body and mind are purified enough and charged enough to be able to be a conduit of superconscious energy. That is what rebirth is for. The sun is a symbol of self-generation. The sun is forever burning, perpetually. Self-generation meaning it needs nothing from outside of itself. What it is doing is literally living off perfect equilibrium inside, right? And drawing in all of the energy around it, right? Transmuting it in its core of transmutation and shining forth with everlasting brilliance. That is what the sun does, right? The thing is that our breath and the sun, the operation of the sun, are very similar, but there's a difference because we are remaining in duality and we haven't achieved that sun state yet. We're going to talk about that right here. So this is the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. Okay. First off, here's a quote from Hermes. The cosmic mind is an image of God. The cosmos is an image of the cosmic mind. The sun is the image of the cosmos. Man is an image of the sun. The sun is our father in a way. Okay. And the sun is an image of the cosmos. And the cosmos is an image of the cosmic mind. And the cosmic mind is an image of God. Therefore, the sun is the most direct interpretation or symbol of God there is, right? And when I'm going to talk about in a little bit here how all the ancient cultures really and traditions venerated the sun, worshipped the sun. They did not worship the physical sun and the light itself. They worshipped the energy, the light behind the sun. We're going to be getting into this. First off, self-generation, the immortal body, and immortality. Hermetics, Hermeticism, is literally about immortality, is about attaining the immortal body. A lot of people are talking about Hermetics right now on YouTube, and diving into the Kabbalion and Hermetic principles, and that stuff is great, right? But at its core, if we read any of the surviving works of Hermes Trismegistus, the founder of Hermeticism, the founder of the philosophy that underpins all religions, right? If we read any of his works, we realize it is truly about immortality, right? And escaping the fetters that bind thee through the immortal body, through the operation of the sun. Okay. So this is the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, perhaps the most cryptic and revered, esoteric text out there. And it's quite short. Yep. Truly without deceit, certain and most veritable. That which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below. To accomplish the miracles of the one thing, and just as all things come from this one thing, through the meditation of one mind, so do all created things originate from this one thing through transformation. Okay, so let's dive into it. Its father is the sun, its mother the moon. The wind carries it in its belly. Its nurse is the earth. The father is the sun, the mother is the moon. The wind carries it in its belly. Are we talking about the great ocean of energy? Universal life force, the father being the sun, giving life and vital energy to all of earth, the mother the moon reflecting that vital energy down to earth, the wind carries it in its belly, the atmospheric air being the most free medium for prana to move in, for vital energy. Its nurse is the earth. It is the origin of all, the consecration of the universe. Its inherent strength is perfected if it is turned into earth. I'm thinking we're talking about the unmanifest, perfect molecule, almost an atom per se. Okay. Now we get into the operation of the sun, and this is what I really want to draw our attention to. Although what we just talked about ties right in. Separate the earth from heaven, the subtle from the gross. Gently and with great ingenuity, it rises from earth to heaven and descends again to earth, thereby combining within it both the power of both the above and the below. Thus you will obtain the glory of the whole universe. All obscurity will be clear to you. This is the greatest force of all powers, because it overcomes every subtle thing and penetrates every solid thing. In this way, the universe was created. From this will come many wondrous applications, because this is the pattern. Therefore, I am called thrice greatest Hermes, having all three parts of wisdom of the whole universe. Herein have I completely explained the operation of the sun. So he explains this pattern. Okay. You separate the earth from the heaven, the subtle from the gross. The subtle from the gross is another way of saying the fire from the earth, right? The earth from the heaven. The subtle energy from the gross manifestation. Internally, you do this through esoteric breathwork, through esoteric breathing, where you start to identify and discern the subtle body from the gross body, where you start to identify the subtle truth of your identity, the true I, from the gross, lesser I. Gently and with great ingenuity, it rises from heaven to earth. Gently and with great ingenuity, you ascend Kundalini, or that superconscious charge, through the body, making way for superconsciousness to live in you, right? And descends again to earth. Let's look at that shepherd's cane idea kind of thing, right? The Kundalini, that energy rises from the earth pours up through you with earthly chi, right? Grabs the heavenly chi and brings it back down into you. At the center, the Merkabah is created in the heart space. The heart space is where the true spirit resides. Okay. So the Merkabah is created there. And the Merkabah is the operation that we're talking about here. The Merkabah is the operation of the sun. Okay. Thus you will obtain the whole glory of the universe. All obscurity will be clear to you. This is the greatest force of all powers because it overcomes every subtle thing and penetrates every solid thing. Okay. This is the pattern. So this Merkabah, combining both the powers of the below and the above into it. You know, I'm going to kind of jump ahead a little bit, but this can also be seen as the breathless state, as that the yogis talk about, where essentially the Bhagavad Gita says, give the exhale onto the inhale and give the inhale onto the exhale. When you're practicing deep, subtle breath control, aka pranayama, when you're really controlling the subtle energies of the body and slowing that breath down, you know, until 1 minute a breath. And even beyond that, you start to approach the breathless state where you are achieving perfect internal balance of the vital energies. Furthermore, when this happens, you no longer need to breathe. When we breathe physically, what we are doing is we have to pull in prana, because imbalances were created, or we're using, you know, essentially we have to pull in, right? Charge up and then expel, right? Or exhale. The breathless state is when you're both inhaling and exhaling simultaneously, when the below is flowing through you effortlessly and the above is pouring into you effortlessly, and you are simply shining forth. You no longer need to exhale to shine. You no longer need to inhale to charge, because you are receiving and giving simultaneously. This is two-way flow. This is the Merkabah. Okay. And what exemplifies this two-way flow perfectly? Well, the sun. This is the operation of the sun, says Hermes. The solar symbol. The solar symbol, a circle with a dot in the center. You know, we could see the circle to represent the feminine, the dot to be the masculine. It is the perfect union of both, a harmony of opposites. This is what alchemy is, to take two elements, the in-breath and the out-breath, and make them into a single whole new element, to take the masculine and feminine and blend them, right? To make the male and female and the female male, as Jesus would say, right? So the operation of the sun, as it can be seen in the solar orb, solar disk, the sun is constantly breathing in, per se, the energy all around it, right? Darkness, light, the ether, all of it. It's breathing in the essence of all energy around it, into the core, the masculine core of transmutation, right? Where it processes that energy and shines forth. It does this constantly. It doesn't need to stop shining for a moment to draw in more energy and then shine forth. No, it is constantly shining forth because the ether is pouring through the sun. The sun is an online node, per se. It is a portal. Of God. Okay. We don't quite have time for it right here, but there's three suns. Okay. The spiritual, the physical, or the superior, the supreme, and the inferior sun. We're not going to dive into it right now, but essentially the sun, the symbol of the sun, is an online pumping node, a portal of God, where God is effortlessly pouring through it constantly. Okay. Now, transitioning a little bit here. If you guys want to go deeper into this kind of stuff, check out my Ancient Mystery School playlist. Just type in Reality Files, Ancient Mystery School. Find that playlist. I have a lot of stuff like this in there, as well as follow, So let's look at some of the solar beings, those in the sun state. Okay. The Colburn Bible, which I have many videos about, talks about entire tribes of illumined ones, of twice born ones, of those in the sun state. An entire tribe. Really post the fall of Atlantis. The Colburn Bible is coming from the ancient Egyptian bronze book, which is really a collection of stories that were handed down word of mouth before writing, really. long before even the times of Egypt. The Colburn Bible is a collection of those stories, and it's heavily suppressed. The Colburn Bible has an entire book in it called The Sons of Fire. Now, the Sons of Fire were born through the fire, and in their tribe there was masters of wisdom, there was masters of brightness, there was glowing ones, right? So in the past, many people have reached this state. We're currently in the dark ages of humanity, where the ether had receded, but now it's coming back, right? And this state is accessible more and more. Okay, that's why this knowledge must be spread in this age of Aquarius. Okay. The sun state. If we look up any image of the Buddha, especially like older sculptures, right, we notice a halo or a sun around his head. Oftentimes there's even a sun surrounding his whole body, or he's sitting on one. Okay. Right here, this symbol of the Buddha, right, with this cross behind him, looks awfully like the Ankh of ancient Egypt. The Ankh is held in the hand of all the gods, all the divinity, the illumined ones, the twice-born ones, the gods of ancient Egypt per se. I truly believed were masters of wisdom that came and brought the teachings to the children of men, right? They held the Ankh because it was the symbol of the rising sun, right? It was a symbol of much more than that. But essentially the Ankh we could see as, I have a whole bunch of notes about the Ankh, I can't quite remember right now. But that Ankh is that symbol of divinity, that symbol of the sun state, and Buddha is sitting in front of one, it seems to be, All the images of, Krishna and the Hindu gods, you're going to find a solar orb or something similar around them or behind them, right? All these images of Krishna here, right? Same thing with, Zarathustra. Same thing with, Quetzalcoatl, if we could find more images of him. Same thing with Jesus, in the oldest paintings and sculptures of it. We have the solar halo around these guys. Why? It's not just because they're enlightened. It's because their vital magnetism is so damn strong. Because they are one with the energy all around them. Because they are activated in the sun state. They are perfected initiates. Okay. This is really important. This is what this whole video is trying to get at. Is there something beyond, a deeper truth, a gem that's been hidden and, disregarded? That there's a deeper truth beyond just pure enlightenment. The Hermeticists talk a lot about forming the immortal body per se, oftentimes cryptically, but the immortal body is that etheric body formed, right? Like Jesus said, form eyes in the place of an eye, hands in the place of a hand, feet in the place of your feet. In the Gospel of Thomas, I have a whole video on that. And he's referring to forming the etheric body. They're all referring to this esoteric, etheric breathwork, along with the master of the mysteries, mastering of the mysteries and knowledge of self. This combined, like Jesus studied in India, under the Brahmins. He studied in Egypt under the master of mysteries. I'm pretty sure he studied with the Persians. There's even accounts of him as far up as, West Europe, right? Krishna came from a long, lineage left by the rishis in the Vedas, right? Buddha, took that lineage. It was kind of bastardized and he revived it, right? But all of these guys, like the Buddha was the master of wisdom, right? Enlightenment is not just this thing that's like an epiphany. No, it is super dynamic. It is super holistic. And we have all these living symbols of people who were perfected initiates, and many that we do not even know. There's many perfected initiates that we do not know, right? And they come for a specific purpose, to guide the children of men, and in every age they come, okay? Krishna says that when Dharma has faded and humanity has lost its purpose, he will manifest himself again, right? In Judaism, they believed in messianic eras where after humanity has lost its way, tribes of messiahs reappear, right? These solar beings. And what I'm saying, my friends, is there's a deeper truth far beyond the New Age Enlightenment, and that is the sun state and the great solar mystery, my friends. The sun is to be venerated. The sun has been venerated by all cultures and all traditions. Okay. The Masters of Wisdom, this is a whole nother video I could get into. Drop a comment if you want to hear it. But the Masters of Wisdom saw the sinking of Atlantis, right? And they sent forth, essentially the Masters of Wisdom were sent forth bearing the religion of the sun into the people in the caves, into the primitive peoples, using the stone tools and areas all across the world, specifically places like Mesoamerica, like Chem or Egypt, like Sumeria, right? They spread into these places also, like, up in Athens, up in the Celtic and the Druidic line, right? These Masters of Wisdom established agriculture. They established, philosophy, writing, astronomy, astrology, the sciences in these places. That's why, agriculture sprang out of nowhere, like 11,600 years ago after the Ice Age. After the Ice Age fell, these Masters of Wisdom went out to the primitive people, right, coming from a highly advanced society, and these primitive people saw them as gods. And they had incredibly long lifespans because they had mastered the vital energy within. And these Masters of Wisdom brought the religion of the sun to all these places. It's why the religious symbolism is very similar, right? And they established these time capsules, right, in the megaliths, in the religions, in the teachings, these time capsules of the ancient wisdom to continue to usher and guide men through the dark ages that were to come. They understood that we had entered a new yuga, a new cycle, right? We had entered a new great turning of the wheel. And that turning of the wheel was into the dark ages, where the consciousness would recede from man, where the ether would lessen on earth. They brought the religion of the sun, established these time capsules, right? And essentially saw to the propagation of this knowledge. And yeah, the Brothers of Brightness have been working through it ever since. But that's kind of the story, my friends, of the sun, and a quick, overview of the mystery teachings of the sun state and the great solar mystery. Now, again, I could go so much deeper into any and every aspect of this video, and there's so much unsaid, but I hope I did it some justice. Please drop a comment with your thoughts. Share this video somewhere you think it will reach people. And yeah, this is Reality Files. I'm Christian. This is the mystery school here. Thanks for listening to this esoteric wisdom. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Check out, related playlists. Everything will be in the description below. Thanks for being here. Peace.